Hello, it's RocksAlot. Just getting ready. A few things to do today. A few things to show. But hope everybody's been having a good week and enjoying the new weather. So let's have a look. Got that. I think I got everything. Maybe not. Hey everybody. Welcome in. Just getting going. Sort of have it semi-planned, so welcome in. Boop. Going to be doing some fire agates today, which I have pre-cut. So, where are we at? 111. Anyway, so yeah, welcome in. It's RocksAlot, and we're going to do a live cut for Thursday tea time. Usually been going on live around 5ish to 5:30ish on a Thursday. And yeah, today we're going to be doing some fire agates. So these are some of the ones we're not going to be doing. I didn't cut these yet, but definitely have some really nice potential. And I will show those again shortly. And then I've got a few little different pieces of turquoise to do. Obviously this is ribbon, really thin, but we're going to do those. Hi everybody. And we've got some other pieces to do. So welcome in. Just joining. Going to be doing some fire agates today. And I pre-cut them. Did pretty well out of them actually. So I've got some pre-cuts. Hope you all had a decent week. Hi everybody, welcome in. So got some fire agates going to be cutting. I did pre-slice these outside just to get off the back, see if we had anything in the middle. And I actually got lucky on a couple of them. So I bought them just with that face showing, so I knew I was getting something. And I'm going to shape these up on the wheels, but in the meantime, during cutting, I cut that back off, and it still looks like I might get an extra stone. And any extras on these is bonus. So, hi everybody, welcome in. I know I'm going to repeat myself a couple of times, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm going to do some fire agates that I got to get shaped up. And maybe a couple of pieces of turquoise. Got a couple of little pieces of ribbon. This actually came out of the Kingman bag. Let's get that, there we go. So, I don't know which way it's better to cut this one. Might do a double-sided one. Welcome in everybody. Thanks for joining. So yeah, a little bit of turquoise. These ones we need to finish off from the other day. Slowly getting there. That one was the Chilean, and this one was the Nila, and then this Nila, that all that matrix eventually ended up coming off. But it's a nice clean, pure piece. And then we're going to do some of these fire agates. So these are the ones I just have to show today. I do have to process these through the saw, and I kind of did a test yesterday, so I got this one. I did a test yesterday just to see, one, how easy it was to cut, and to see if I would find anything in the middle. So this one may have potential of something in the middle. That one's gorgeous. But let me show you the ones that I did cut. What's this little thing? Oh, this one. So this is just a quick shout out to AZ Rock Hounding Expeditions. This was the cab I had come in last week. Hi Sino, welcome in. And that's off their claim. Really nice stuff. I forget who cut this for them though. But yeah, that's quite the maze there. And this is Julian Bryan, AZ Rock Hounding Expeditions. You can find him on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to him. Lovely couple. Lovely couple and great to the community. Who else do I have over here I can pump up while we're doing it? Oh, here's one. So these are a couple of freebies I got. These ones were from Robert. So if you haven't been over to Robert's channel, go over to Robert's channel and subscribe too. He is global prospecting, mostly does opals, and does do some other minerals, but mostly Australian, Ethiopian, Brazilian opals. And these were some awesome little freebies I got. That one's got a crack in it, but we'll show how the hydrophane works one of these days. So those are there ready to go. But today, let me get back to what I was doing, because I could just start showing you stuff all day. So, I don't have that ability right now, Sina. There are people... Oh, I didn't know I had that purpley blue in there. So this was one that we'll do first probably, but I cut this one off. Found a little extra in the middle. So that was bonus. I did 4 of them, I think. Then I did this one. You probably have better access, you know, than to materials than I do here. So this one, really bright. Right there, and I cut this one, not so much, not really going to get anything out of that ghost, but I did find a little piece on the back there, so that was good. Thank you. Would you check my drawer? There's a bag in there with 2 little rocks, about that big, and they are garnets. It's a sandwich bag in my side drawer. Okay. Should just be at the front or the side of it somewhere. Thank you. So yeah, I should show these garnets. I've been tasked as a favor to see if I could get these star garnets shaped out. I don't know if it's possible. They looked a little included to me, so we'll see. Alright, this was the 3rd one. I have quite a bit of this material. Nothing extra on that one. There was nothing extra on that one, so that was all matrix. I think we had a little bit in there. A little bit in here. Let's give it a little quick wash. So yeah, there's a little bit right there. So that's an extra stone. And that's just matrix. And this came off the top, so should be able to make something out of that. And the last one, if we get to it, I forget how hard these are. So if they're really hard, and I mean hard as in Mohs scale, then we'll only do a couple. Awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to show these. This is the last one. This one is pretty neat on the front. Got some decent color in there. Get it to focus. Some bubbles right in the middle there. And let's see if we can get it. Hadn't even seen those. Oh, wow, look at that. It's like a hologram. I hadn't seen those. Okay, so from the side, from this side it actually shows better. Almost like a broad flash in an opal. I wonder if I can reorient that. Possibly. And then on the inside there was an extra stone on this one too. Just a little one, but it's like an eye. Kind of looks at you whichever way you go. That's pretty neat. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on. So I'm going to start take you over to the wheel, and then if I get time, I've had these for 2 months, and I was afraid I might have lost them, and they came from the jeweler that does ask me for commissions, and I don't know if we're going to see it. You kind of do. So they're sort of star garnets, and I forget where he said, whether it was Ohio, Iowa, or Idaho, wherever all the garnets come from. But he wanted me to see if I could locate, see how that, so they do cross down the bottom here. Wanted me to see if I could cab that out. I'm really not sure you can. And the other one, they have these inclusions in there. This one's a little bit better. There we go. There's that star garnet in the middle. At least a 4-liner. So I might have a go with those. We'll see. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate you. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that like, that would be great. Hang out for a minute or two. Maybe you'll see something you enjoy. And if you could hit the subscribe, that'd be great. I am honored that, let me show you real quick. So I looked at my little analytics this week, and as of last week, I have most of my subscribers, got my uploads, but I have crossed the halfway mark on my hours, which is just absolutely fantastic. And I really appreciate you all. And yeah, that's fantastic. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. So I'm going to take you over to the wheel. I work on a Diamond Pacific Genie. This might be a little rough, but not too bad. Let's see. Let's see a few things on the way. And that should tighten up there. And tighten right there. And that should do it right there. So we're going to start on this low grit wheel. It's an agate, so it's probably going to be pretty noisy. And let's do this one. This was kind of the easiest one to do first. I'm just going to come around the edges, see if I can cab it out, leaving a little bit of ghost spot in there at the same time. Here's some noise. If you have any questions while I'm going along, just put them in the chat. We will answer them to the best of our ability. And then Miss Freckle Cat should be joining us soon. And come on, Jeannie, because she doesn't like the cold very much, and I don't know how it is with everybody else, but it's getting colder around here. So let's have a go. Let's see how quick this disappears on this. It's 80 grit. Pretty noisy. I don't have background music going right now because I am trying to hit my hours and watt views and all that stuff. So maybe I'll change this up in the middle. We'll cut a couple of other different stones. But I got to get these ones done. But yeah, thanks for joining. I hope you're all having a good week. I know the weather's changed a little bit. I really feel for the islands right now. They went through a lot this week. Not personally, but I did deal directly with Milton and Helene from last year. Not with my own properties, but I did have to. I was part of the cleanup, not so much up in North Carolina, but the Florida side. And the Georgia, well, the Florida, Pensacola side. And up into North Carolina and Georgia. not fun. And looking at Jamaica, they have a lot down where they don't have the machinery to clean it up. So yeah, I still feel real bad for them. They had a lot of like salty mud stuck up in their houses and down the roads and stuff. So anyway, my thoughts are out for them, my prayers too. And I'll leave it at that. So my week, however it was better than a lot of people's. So I'm grateful for that. Would love to see some of you in the chat. Maybe tell us the area you're from. As you see, we have the gentleman down there that came in from Indonesia. And not that we've started a map yet, but we thought about doing a map, pinning up where everybody's from. This is disappearing relatively easily. What I'm trying to do right now is just get the back a little more evened out. And I'm wondering, I gotta be careful too. So I'm wondering if I get it thin enough on the edges. You see how clear that is? So I gotta make sure I don't go through the agate itself. What changes the color in a fire agate is actually iron, Fe. I know I'm in the same one as you, North. I'm probably not too far away. I know where you're from. You actually don't have to tell me. But I don't know why, but lately in my content... Hi, my Captiva. How you doing today? Hope you had a decent... I hope you had a decent week. Yeah, I think I'm a little above you, North. Actually, that's almost a pun, isn't it? But for some reason in my content, I've been getting Great Danes. Like some guy that had like 4 Great Danes and Great Dane puppies and Chihuahuas and Great Danes. Trying to back each other down. It's very amusing, actually. We do have one animal here, but I don't know. He thinks he's an emperor. He is a cat, but he's pretty big, and he's very dog-like in that he's pretty protective. So yeah, I don't know which I'd rather have, like a 20-pound dog coming at me or a 20-pound cat with teeth and claws. We haven't gone through all the family members yet of looking after him when we go somewhere, but we're getting pretty close. Alright, well there's some actually showing on the back here. So now I got to be careful. I wouldn't mind showing some of this on the back. That's a really neat line. And I've never really cut fire agate where I took it to the saw before. I've only cabbed it out and left them as specimens, so that's a nice color right there too. So if I can shape this up where this is the front and have some color on the back showing through a back bezel or a back plate, that would be pretty neat. That would be nice. I didn't know that. I did get my genie from down that way. We had to take a very long drive, but I'll have to remember that. It's sort of my reunion, college reunion this weekend, and we have people coming in from, what is that? I don't know, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, and yeah, everybody comes up this weekend, and we go out to one of my friend's farms. Hopefully we'll have a big fire with the weather. Well, that's good to know. Hi, Harris. Welcome in. Yeah, I don't know if this is considered opal or just an agate. I guess it's a silica. So it's similar to an opal. This is fire agate, so it's a nice looking fire agate. But it is showing that little line. Where are you? Right there, and that's got some good color in it. Ah, it's getting closer. Are you going to, what is that place? I have the World Horse Exhibition area, I think it is. I have a few friends that show horses down there. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep that, but we're going to try. I'm going to move on to this next wheel. Dig in with the girdle. So just putting a little bit of an angle on the edge so that it can be bezeled out. I'm not working on the face because somebody has pre-polished this face, and if I remember correctly, this actually was from John Dupuy at Diamond Pacific, and up to now I have preferred his fire agate rough to some of the American. I think this is Mexican. I'm pretty sure this is Mexican. Okay. That's the back. That's showing up really nice. Okay, so I can set this one either way. I'll sell it to somebody who wants it and set it either way. I'm going to take a little bit more time on the back because it's going to be double-sided. So of these pieces, I think 3 of the 4 that I cut on the saw actually ended up giving me an extra stone on the bottom. It helps me pay for the initial rough that I got. Well, I got these really cheap. Right. So I'm actually still on the back, but I'm rounding it off as if we can try. The sun is about to go down on the other side of the fence there, and I may be able to turn off these lights, and I actually do have a black light right here. I don't know if you watch J and V rock hounding north, but I know he heads down to Tampa from time to time. I had a really nice compliment from Aaron Small the other day about one of my videos and some of the stones I'd cut. which I really appreciated. So this is, I was not expecting that to be there. So that's really neat. Thank you all for being in. A little bit of a groove. It's almost gone. And we're almost done with this one. So be careful. I'm trying to keep some color here. And then we're going to go on. I'm going to lose that a little bit, which is a shame. Well, go around the edge to round out this edge. Getting a little chippy. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. So, I don't know, we might turn this into, I might turn that into the back. Pretty nice, but then on this side I got this one too that flashes at you. This is really neat because it's in the middle, so if I have an open back pendant, that will, even if you turn it around, it'll show and bounce off the sun really well. Alright. Let's move over, sorry. There we go. Move up. I've got to remember all the little tricks I learned last week. So I can actually take little shorts in the middle of the live that I can post while the live is processing. I think. Let's get down a little bit. Sorry about that. There we go. Get some light in there. That's not too bad. And I am in the long view vertical format. And if you ever come back to watch, I know some people don't like it, but I thought it only gave you like a 2/3 of a screen when you come to watch the replay. But actually, if you just hit the expand button in the bottom right, when you come in to watch the replays, it will expand to the whole vertical of your phone. Thank you all for the thumbs up. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm really happy. I started the year, I think, at 87 subscribers, and now I'm up to 704-ish. Look at that. And been really enjoying doing these lives every week, which I hope you guys on the other side there are doing the same. I appreciate it if you could hang out for a few minutes at least, see what I'm doing for the day. Maybe put in a little comment. Hi Beth, how are you? I hope you're having a good week. I really like this edge over here. If you look at it from this side, that purpley blue comes out. That's a nice piece. That's semi-polished. Do a little bit more, but in the back looks pretty good. Alright, so we're going to be done with that one for right now. What else we have to do? So that one goes in like this. Let's see if I can pull something out of that. So this is rough cut now. This was the back of the stone that we just did. This is an extra. So being that it's an extra, I'm really just going to run around the side here and see if I can get anything out of it. So back to the 80 grit. A lot of noise, I apologize. I don't mind it, but then I'm used to it. So I'm just going to run this down so it's almost flat on the back. Some people enjoy contour carving these, which is a whole nother process, and I haven't really tried it. I do have a few pieces that I could do, but they literally go in and carve around each botoidal, or botroidal, and they get some magnificent results. So I'm just tabbing this out. You're welcome in, Beth. Almost feels like holiday time. We got Halloween tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I don't know if I'm ready for Halloween yet. You'll see, like I said, I got this reunion on the 2nd. I mean, on the 1st. I don't know if we're meant to. I don't think we're meant to dress up for it. That doesn't mean I won't do something silly. Okay. So kind of getting around the outside. It's going to be pretty ghosty, but I'm going to see if I can get down to that little eye in there. See if we can get something out. So, I think we're just going to go to the next wheel and do it on the next wheel. Yeah, I actually have more of that, but I have not so many different materials, but I have different materials, and I really need to get through a little bit of some of all of them, if that makes any sense. That's why I'm here, actually. So I would be doing this anyway. Just got out of my week of work, and this is how I get my work out of my brain. Although the people I work with are pretty nice. I'm pretty fortunate, and at least in my area, we have a pretty well-trained team, and we work well together. We find ways of utilizing the best of all of us, which you don't always find at work. But yeah, I'm pretty fortunate with that. So now we're going to start trying to bring this down, just to see if getting closer to it brings out that color anymore. Welcome in, everybody. Working on some fire agate, trying to cap it out and see if we can find things that we didn't know were there, which is really neat. This is, I don't know if that's getting brighter or not. Sorry. Water's playing havoc with me. So it's in there, but it's not really coming out. It's really dark. I'm gonna try it on the rough wheel for a second. Take some off a little bit quicker. So you can go through the fire agate layers really quick. And then, like, some of the layers are nanometers thick, some of them. And so just did a quick rub down. Just can get a little bit closer. I'm just trying to get a bit more light in there to reflect off the bands and the layers, and it may work and it may make it disappear. It's coming out a little bit. Get better. Alright, that sun's almost gone, so let's put out a piece. I'm going to try testing to see if it fluoresces. Let me see if I can do it. So off with that. I hope that didn't put anybody to sleep. turn off the light. Let's see. So it does a little bit north. So you can see what's fluorescing is the ghosty parts with, I think it's calcitony. And kind of there, if you kind of get I have not, Akira. In fact, I just spoke about it. I have some of the wheels and tools in the back. I have just not had the time to sit down and do it. I have, I've done contouring and carving with opals. Nothing spectacular, but I have not tried it with these. And maybe some of these pieces we'll do that with. So this one has more ghosting. And there you go, that fluoresces. And even that eye in this top up here pops out. That's pretty cool. A little bit of Halloween-y. That's pretty neat. Alright. Let's go back to cut. I'm going to go back to the wheel. Here comes some light. Oh, sorry. And then I gotta pop the flash back on again. We're gonna work on the next piece. So this piece, got some color in there, and this was the one that if I turn it this way, showed more color. So how do I orient it? Well, that's the top. So I have to, I don't think I can do it. Maybe a little bit. So I want to angle it this way, so that maybe that pops out some. But we're going to get rid of all that, bring it in, and see how it shapes up. So just a little bit, make some noise. You were right too. Thank you for giving me that idea. That's a good smell right there. That'll explain it. It's not muddy. It's I don't know how to explain that. Matrix smell right there. But it smells good to me. But maybe only because I like rocks. Take this edge off. So same with the other stones, I start a girdle on the edge and see how the rock wants to shape up. I'm not doing that top because it's already been pre-rubbed. Yeah, Nakira, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here today. They're gonna have to come in because this is just too muddy. Why? Focus. There you go. So yeah, it's just a bit muddy. It is earthy. It's a little bit more than earthy. I don't. But you can smell the minerals. It's a good minerally smell. Now, you shouldn't be smelling all of them, because some of them are not so good for you. So, I don't get a lot of dust off of these. As much as I do with the phosphates. Start bringing that in. It's hot on the wheels too. Hey everybody, welcome in. Hope you're having a good afternoon. Hope you're home from work already. And If you have insomnia, this might help you get to sleep. Depending on where you're from. Still got to bring this in some to get that little bit of mud out. See if we can see. So that's what I'm aiming for. I've got to bring this in some more. It's almost there. You can see those fortifications start right there. It is my pet beaver. There's some other ones right here that I'll show. Aaron, I don't know if you're watching, but I did just get your message. I just can't bring it up right now. And I will get with you after I finish the live today. I'm going to even out the back. Who knows, maybe we'll have something show up like the other one. You can see it's not taking off too much too quick. Still got a tiny bit of mud to go. I am losing some of the outside of the stone to get that mud out, but I don't think it really has any color in it. So we're almost there. Started to undercut. It's pretty hard. Well, I go hard, but I don't go crazy hard because it really doesn't help the diamond or doesn't make it any quicker. And I let the diamond do its work. Thank you all for the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And any of the subs coming in, thank you so much. I hope I can keep you entertained a little bit at least. And if you have any questions or requests as far as maybe doing some materials, or some alternate materials, just let me know, and if I don't have it, we'll resource it and give it a try. Because I'm learning as you're watching. I know some of you out there know way more than I do. In fact, the person that just texted me. Okay. I'm sort of getting a shape. Blend that in a little. Pretty much done on the mud coming out. And I'm just going to get my girdle, and then we're going to move on to the next wheel. Fire agate on this wheel will get a little bit chippy. And look, there we go. So that's new. And that's on the back. So again, we got a little bit of extra. I'm coming through, so I'm going to go a little bit more. Anything that that comes on the back is extra, and whether it's wire wrapped or put into a pendant with an open back, it'll just look nicer. Alright, almost done with that, and we're going to go to the next wheel. Hey Steve, thank you for popping in. Yeah, I need some coffee. Actually, I got coffee behind me. I am saving my food for after the live, Steve. I did work all day. I kind of snacked through the day, which is probably bad, but kind of snacked through work. And then I have my dinner in the fridge waiting for me for after the live tonight. But if I eat before I go live, I might get a little sleepy. Only because it is the end of my work week. But so far so good. I think I'm on week 3 of my new boss. He still has his job and I still have mine, so that's good. Alright, I kind of like the back. It's got that little sparkle at the bottom, some of the ghosting. It's got color up in that top, that's pretty neat. So that's new. And it's got to take these, you see how it chips? Let's see if I can get in closer to show you. So on that 80 grit wheel, the agate is pretty hard. And agates, jades, jaspers, hard jaspers, petrified woods. If you stay on that wheel too long, it will start to get a little chippy. Not bad, but you see how it goes those little chips along the edge? So I'm going to take this off just a little bit, the next wheel, just so it doesn't chip anymore. Yeah, and we'll go closer for a few minutes. We'll try it. And if I get too close, shows all the defects I have. Maybe I need to get really far away. Okay, let's see. I need to get that edge so it doesn't chip. Right? I don't have to do this very much. It's like a really small 45 degree. Helps that bottom edge and it stops it from chipping. Alright, Steve, you got me thinking about food now. And even the front's starting to come out better. That's pretty neat. Different, it's not all just fire agate. It's got some cool little eyes up there. So now I need to blend that edge in. Same way I did the bottom, but I need to come down the girdle just a tad, because I'm going to try and dome it just a little bit. It has been pre-rubbed, and I don't want to lose those colors that I already see. And I don't know if you saw up higher up in the comments, Akira asked about contour carving. I have not tried it. I do have the tools for it. That will have to be for another day. And I think it takes a fairly long time and some really good patience. So on Thursdays I like to just get through some rough, see what we've got to work with, and you know that top's starting to show a little bit too. And so far I haven't, it's like a hologram. Pretty neat. Hi everybody, welcome in. RocksAlot is my channel. Go live on Thursdays and Sundays, and maybe occasionally in between. This week I don't think I'll be doing any in between, because I got a few things to do over the weekend. Let me see if I can. My phone's starting to look like Dave's phone. Let me be careful. That's pretty cool. I'm really happy. If I really wanted to, I could just take all of that out. But I like the way that it sort of frames it. So yeah, Thursdays and Sundays, if you hit that subscribe and hit the notification bell, you will be notified when I go live. Try to go live on Thursdays around tea time, so somewhere around 5 to 5:30. And I usually stay on for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. What are we at? 50 minutes. Depending on how we're doing and how many people are watching, how hungry I am, and whether I got other things to go do in the world. But today I don't really, but tomorrow, I gotta do a few errands tomorrow. Got my hair cut today, so my ears are cold. I don't know if it is, but it kind of looks to me like that color's coming out more and better pronounced. And I've still got 3 wheels to go. I mean, look at that. That's pretty cool. Hi, Suck. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good evening. Alright. I'm going to switch this up a little. That's 2. That one came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that one. And in the future, if I need to, I don't want to, but yeah, I like it like that. I like the framing on it, and I'm going to leave that. Still got 3 wheels to go on it to polish it up. And let me see what the other parts of this one are. I don't know, do we try this one? So this was the back of this one. It's got that eye, so I'm going to do a quick polish across the face just to see if there's any color in here too. So to get 2 stones out of these, I'm extremely happy. Sorry about the blurry. There we go. So just going to sort of go around the edge, not very hard, just enough to stop it from cutting or chipping it out. And then I'm just going to do a quick rub on the face to see how much more of a stone I got out of this one. I got really lucky. So yeah, out of the 4 stones that I cut, out of 3 of them had color underneath where I cut off. Let's just do a test. And there I know we have a little eye, and we're going to cut that out another time. Now this looks funky. There you go. I'm not focusing today on this very well. into there. There's a tiny bit of color in there, but it's pretty deep. This one, this eye, I'll turn into a ringstone. So I may just cut that end off, and I'll probably leave the white going around the outside, almost so it is like an eye. It does kind of follow you, so that would turn into a really nice ringstone. I wish I could get the same prices I got these to begin with. Alright, so let's see if we can do this ribbon over here. Oof. So this was out of the Kingman. And I'm going to go down just a tad. There we go. A piece of Kingman. Really thin on the top here. Looked pretty thick, but it was thin. And then when I cut it, gave it that ribbon right down the middle. So it's pretty thin on this side. I'm going to try and bring that in a little bit. Bring this in a little bit. And maybe we'll double face these. So this one you couldn't see anything. And then there you go on that ribbon piece again. So these will be interesting to try and cut. I'm going to start with this one. And we're going to start in the middle because it's a little bit softer than the agate. And I'm going to give camera because I have a problem with my focus. Alright, I cleaned you guys all up. And we're going to start right on this middle one. This one I got to remember to do my little movie in this one. Alright, well this is much harder than I thought it was. Actually being wrong about the hardness of this is actually good. Because it is so thin. So I'm actually going to close this down. I'm going to move you in a little bit over here this way so you can see. There we go. Hi Neil, welcome in. Great name. Reminded me of a few bells that I grew up with. Used to live in my neighborhood and we used to play rugby together. Hi Husky. Let's see if we can make sort of a double face out of these ones. That's pretty thick. Maybe the ribbon's the back. I'm not sure yet. Bring this in. I'm gonna try and keep that ribbon in the middle at least. Giving it a little bit of a shape. So yeah, this came out of the big bag of Kingman. It is stabilized, and the colors vary on the outside from that to a dark blue. Some of the dark blues are fantastic. Now I'm going to reorient this by doing this. So I'm just changing the back shape. So I think even if I make this a thin stone, it'll look better. See? Look at that. I went from one ribbon to a split, which means this whole piece right here, if I wanted to take out that matrix, I could get all of that out. So the blue does not quite come to the edge right here. So do I bring that in? I think we bring that in. Wait until I see the blue. Even though I'm losing a little bit on the size of the stone. And there you go. So still a little bit. Alright, so precision. I'm going to flatten this out. I hope this doesn't break. I started pushing really hard, trying to get this done quickly, and I can't do that. I'll break this thing. Patience. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for getting me over 700. That just blows my mind. And now we're gonna round off that. Yeah, I can't believe I'm over 700 subscribers. And actually, the last 6 months of my lapidary journey have been really quite fascinating for me. One, because of YouTube and all you guys, but then also locally getting commissions, getting compliments from my commissions, being networked out by people that, you know, this isn't my job. I do this for fun, and maybe one day I'll make some sort of income off of it. But for right now, I'm 4 years in, 3 years in, I'm still learning, and I really appreciate you all coming along with it, so thank you. Alright, we're going to take this top off, and even though it's going to be uneven, yeah, it turned out much better than I thought. So that's kind of how it started. And I cut it in two. And I had a ribbon one side and a ribbon the other, which now that ribbon's spread. And I could actually take that matrix out, but I actually like the way it splits on this side. I don't really want it to be half and half. You can see how thin it gets on this way. So this is probably going to be the back. I don't know. We'll see how this. Let's do the front, and we'll see. Make some decisions after. So I'm gonna get stopped with. I'm pushing way too hard. Pushing way too hard. Take my time. So this will not be an even dome when I'm done with this. I think it'll be more of an even color. If I can get some of these blues that are shown on the side, on the top, I'll be very, very happy. So yeah, it's going to be high on one end of the stone and lowered, but hopefully the same color. So, looks good. So, let's see. So the color's looking really good. I'm very happy with this piece. As soon as I show this, I need to do one of those little mini movies. It gets turned into a short during the week, which saves me from having to triple edit stuff, and these people get to see some of the live along with you guys. Here's a wiggle waggle, and I still haven't quite figured out whether I should watch through the phone. But I can still work my hand. I'm going through the phone right now. watching through the phone, but it is nicer to see it. Oof. I don't want to do that yet. That's so thin. What do we do here? Thin. No, I might end up getting some of this out with the Dremel just to keep the color. That's really nice. Okay, let's have a look. Look at that. Bam! Let's do a little bit of a highlight. Wow, that is awesome. This is Kingman Turquoise. Hey Jeff, how you doing? You were mentioned a little bit earlier with Port St. Lucie. I've been down to Port St. Lucie many years ago, and I forget why I was staying down there. I think I was down there with a job. Some of the golf course, like the local golf course, and I ran down south of Port St. Lucie because Pete Rose was opening up a steak restaurant, and I went down to meet him at a signing that he was doing at his steak restaurant. Obviously, I don't think the restaurant's there anymore. I think he had one. Wow. Look at that. So this, I believe, is true water webbing, which I was not expecting at all. Wow. See how you got that light area and those dark areas, but almost looks like the bottom of a swimming pool. That's fantastic. So you got that on the front, definitely the front. I'll shape it a little bit better. Almost looks like an alien head, but we're going to leave that as the back. Wow, I'm super happy with that. Look at that. Alright, we'll have to try and see if we can dig something out of this other piece too. I'm going to get a double highlight on this one. That is really nice. Okay, so let's move over to the third wheel. I'm going to finish up shaping this a little bit, evening out the back, evening my girdle. Cleaning up my shape. Few little bumps on the edges that I want to get rid of. Wow. I'm so happy with the top of this. And I think it's showing up really well in the phone too, so. A little bit of a bump right here. Somebody was asking about what kind of stone it was. I'll show you the bag. It's really nice. Edge even all the way around. I don't want to leave that little bit of matrix in there at the top. You should. I don't know if you need to cut it. So a couple of things I've learned or tried in the last couple of weeks was Normally, I can't really see with this piece, but depends which way you cut it. So let me show you the bag. Yeah, so it depends what way you cut it. Let's go out a little bit. Depending on the shape of the stone, like how big it is, Jeff. So this is only one half. We actually did the other half of this one. So normally I would have cut this stone in half, backed on this side, and then brought this down because it's semi-domed already. And a couple of pieces that we've done in the last couple of weeks, I've actually backed them on the outside edge. And then, I guess I got so excited on that one. And then, so backed this outside edge and shaped it with this as the top. So it depends which way you want to do. Depends where you got the turquoise from. If it's stabilized already, you probably don't have to back it. If it's natural or supposed to be natural, I would probably go ahead and back it. And if you're going to slice it, if it's natural, you might want to, you can try it on your saw, but you might want to pre-back it prior to trying to cut it. So you actually double back it and then cut down the middle. But it really depends on the size and what turquoise it was and where you got it from. Alright, so I'm very happy with this piece. I could call it quits at that. Pretty happy with that one. And we're going to do the other side. So this one, let's see. I have a vein going through here. I see a little bit of tuck there. Very thin over this side. And we're going to go in hard on this one. Let's see what we can do. Get a little bit closer. Oh, that's close. Sorry about that. Thanks for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Jeff, depends where you got it from. I know some of Tim's stuff and some of Sam's stuff is pre-stabilized. 90% turquoise already stabilized in some manner. Only the really, really high-end stuff may be natural. And you will normally pay the price for the natural. If it's a nice... Oh, I can show you. I'll show you a piece of natural. So, I've been trying to show these for a couple of weeks and I keep forgetting. So I have this lovely lady who is part of the local gem and mineral, or she has been. She's mostly a beater. And last year I bumped into her and bought a couple of pieces, and then she happened to be here again with her granddaughter in our local art festival, and she still had some of the Sleeping Beauty. And these are real Sleeping Beauty. They are rough nuggets. She puts them on silver chains that is not really silver. I can show you the price, which is why I bought them. Oopsie. So these were 20 each, and this is natural, unstabilized, unbacked turquoise. And this is actually Sleeping Beauty. This has been around this town for about 30 or 40 years because there's other people in this town that have the same Sleeping Beauty. And if you want to hear, so natural means unstabilized, basically, Jeff. They haven't dyed it, stabilized it with an epoxy, or backed it with anything. Just straight out of the ground. Most turquoise that we get, 90% of it is already pre-stabilized. Whether they do it in Mexico, Kingman, I would say about 90% of their turquoise that they sell is stabilized in some manner. And it's really just vacuuming at high high vacuum or high pressure and vacuuming, but this is the sound of. So some natural turquoise will sound like glass, and that's why I bought these. And I won't alter these at all. And I could clean them up a little bit more, but yeah, I mean there was a lot of really good turquoise out on the market years ago, and you occasionally see it coming out now, but they saved some of the best stuff, and they still save some of the best stuff. So I hope that helps. But yeah, that lady's just such a lovely lady. And here we go. All right, I need the wheels back on, don't I? Here we go. So this is stabilized. It's got epoxy in it. It doesn't change the color or anything. It just stabilizes this matrix on the outside. Because when you found this, this is just a seam, and the turquoise might be hard enough, but it's so thin it would probably break without it being stabilized. I can smell it. So when you cut your turquoise, Jeff, you'll smell whether it's been stabilized or not. Hey Dusty, how you doing today? Welcome in. I don't know what shape we're going with this one. I'm just doing the edges for right now. So we did some fire agate, which was good, and then just putting a couple of pieces of turquoise. And that first one came out super. Now, so either way, so that seam's starting to show here. Nice and thick over here. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit more. See if it gets thicker. Right now it is not. I've got that gap. I don't know how far that gap goes in. And in fact, so you see where it's white? A lot of times that where it's been pretty chalky, and that's why they stabilize it. Decisions. So I can see where the vein goes chunk, pops out the bottom. So I'm going to try and do the same as what I did on the other one. I don't know if we're going to get it though. I'm going to take all this off. This may change shape quickly. So I'm going to take all this matrix off the top here and then see if I can shape the back. So now I'm going to have to get rid of a lot of it. Trying to orient the back a little bit more. I'll show you in a second. So I've still got an angle at the top here. I'm just trying to orient it more this way so that we can come down on this. About fine Find out if I'm going to lose some of this stone. Okay, so we're going to take off the top. And do a quick highlight. There we go. And we're going to try and take this top down. Let's see. I know one side's going to be really good, and the other side I think is going to disappear. Really thin seam, so really thin seam right here. So it's almost like an opal. Although if I had a bar like that on an opal, I'd be pretty happy. Should be okay. Bringing this down, and hopefully finding that vein. It is not showing yet. So it's just showing, and it's so thin. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it. I think we're going to lose some of this stone. And no fault of my own, so I'm okay with it. Okay, so you can see where it is, but you see how it comes down under here. So this whole end is matrix. So do I bring it all the way up here so that I can? I do. So I'm gonna have to bring it all the way up here to clean up some of this. That's a shame, but that's just the way the stone is. So welcome in everybody, appreciate the thumbs up. This is Kingman. This came out of that same bag, and it's a mixed bag. So it was all Kingman, it was all stabilized. Do I have this? Oh, I do. See, Mr. Jeff is going to ask me questions today. So, where is that piece go? Let me just do it. There it is. So let's turn it off for a second. So these are the two pieces we're doing right now. Came out of the same bag, all Kingman. These all came from Jeff. I mean from Tim. Sorry. And let's see. This was a piece that came out of This was from Chile. That came out really nice. These ones are pretty much finished. This was the Bella that they were talking about, which is not true Bella. So we're going to call it Della Blue. And that one was really neat. These are in our last couple of lives. So that's the backing, Jeff, that you were asking about. And this was me doing topsy-turvy stuff. So if you watch the topsy-turvy video that I did on live, I backed these from the outside in, if that makes any sense. And then, let's see, this one, these ones all came from the same bag of Kingman. So they were all smoky as far as the matrix. These are all treated, not treated, they're all epoxied in some manner. Doesn't change the color. That was so thin I backed it. But that's same bag. This stuff was really nice. Smoky Kingman. And Kingman has every variation from you know, white, green, blue. And then this was my favorite kind in there, and this was that dark quartzy blue. And has a little bit of hematite and has some pyrites in here too. I love this stuff. This out of the bag, that was my favorite until I saw this one today. So this stuff, that water webby stuff is fantastic. Look at that. So I'll look at that for a while later on. And I'm going to put these back over here so I don't lose them. But those all came out of the same bag, Jeff. I think it was a pound or a half pound that I bought. And I'm going to bring this in just a little bit more, and then I'll try and get rid of that matrix. Here comes the noise again. I keep looking at the back, but I should be just concentrating on the front. We've just been lucky with the backs today. Okay. So thin. Still doing the back. Trying to get the back where I want it oriented so that I can do the front and it comes out the way I need it to. Some may do the front and then do the back after. Okay. So the blue's about to start down here. I'm not going to be able to get down to that, but it'll make this matrixy part a little less obvious. Yeah, Campos or Campitos is what it is, I think. Yeah. Mexican, but it probably has some really nice blues in it sometimes. And more than likely, I would say it's definitely treated. Stabilized, not treated. Okay. Let's see if we can get some of this blue to show on the top again. And I'm going to go over to this soft wheel so I don't make too much of a mistake. Alright, let's see if we can dig some of this out. Just sort of rolling it a little bit. With a bit of a dome. But with how thin it is, I'm not going to get a high or, I'm not going to get a good dome out of it. But it'll give it a nice low dome surface and hopefully show all the colors. Wow. So I know it's underneath here. I just don't know how far across it comes. And you see how thin that is. So let's keep working at it. We're going to get quite as lucky as the last one. It's getting there. So I'm starting to press a lot softer. show my skills here. I don't know if it's gonna work. Come on. It's starting to show a little bit more. And it could be a lot quicker on the last wheel, but I'd end up losing more of it, I think. Or all of it. That wasn't good. See what I just did there? Look at that scratch. It's gonna make me take that out. Come on. Squeeze it out. It's not coming though. Come on. Starting to come over, but like I said, I don't know if it comes to here, or just to there. And I want to go back to the last wheel, but I shouldn't. Come on. I haven't already talked to the stone quite this much. I would not. I mean, you could try the cerium. So what you can do, just to try it, Jeff, is you could try it with a cerium. I find that cerium and turquoise tend to react a little bit. So it'll polish it, but then at the same time it dulls it, if that makes any sense. And the other thing is, it really depends on your stone, so you won't really know until you get to sort of your 5th or 6th wheel at the end, whether to use the cerium. So this one actually, I can't feel too much of any bugs or crevices or fractures or sort of natural ones that may have healed naturally too. But when you use cerium, it's a powder, and even though it's wet when you put it on, it gives it a glossy finish, but it also gets caught in those little tiny little cracks. And it's not, they're not scratches from the wheel, unless you didn't go through your 6 stages or 5 stages, whatever you're going to try and do. But cerium will get caught into every little crevice. You can get it out if you toothbrush it right away, or put it into like a jewelry cleaner. But you got to do it quick, because if it dries, it gets much harder to come out. So it's coming out slowly. I don't know if it's going to make it. So that's the same thing with these fire agates, and even with agates. But cerium's good with agates, jaspers, petrified woods, jades, anything that you use on things that are really hard. Well, I just had a visitor. You can see down here, I don't even know where he came from. You guys see him there? I gotta save him. I guess he probably came in for some water. Let's see if we can zoom in on him a little. There he is. Hi, guy. I don't know if that water is really good for you. My wife tells me I shouldn't drink it. So let's see if we can save you. We got people coming in from all over the world. Look at that. All right, how am I going to get you? This should work. I'm going to pick you up with the tweezers, but maybe you could come on top. All right, slow down. I'm going to get you out of here, buddy. and I don't want you to go in the big pool of water. What are we going to do? Here we go. This is not an endorsement. Come on. Up. He's coming. You want to come grab him? I got him on the box. Say goodbye to everybody. Bye, everybody. Nice to see you. Cheers now. Alright, he's saved. Well, take the whole box. Take the whole box. I got you. Alright, well, we had a special guest. I don't know if we're going to call him anything. Mothra, I guess. And did I lose my stone? Probably lost my stone. Yeah. No. Oh, there you go. Right. Well, that was interesting. I did not. So I use a buffer with the Zam, like a cloth buffer, like a jewelry buffer. I also have some Fabuluster, which I have not tried putting on the other wheel, which maybe we'll go do these. Well, I don't know. What are we at? Now 36. Maybe we'll go do it. But for the cerium, I put on a felt pad, which is basically wool. Some people like to use it with a leather pad. Some do the shiny leather side and some do the rough leather side. So it's really a preference. And I guess the Zam could probably work on felt also. I have not tried it. The thing with the felt that I find is it gets pretty hot. So you definitely have to keep the water on the felt. Whereas with the cloth buffer, it does heat up, but it's a little looser. And I don't know, that's what I've had best now. So I got the Fabuluster for the silver, and I have Zam for phosphates. It worked on that phosphorus spitterite really well. It worked on that lemon chrysoprase really well. So usually what I do, if I'm unsure, is I will test the back with the cerium first, and if it's not working, then I'll go over to the Zam. But I kind of know which ones work with the Zam at this point and which ones don't. The other thing I do have from Diamond Pacific and Don Dupuy is the tin oxide, and I have not tried the tin oxide yet. Yeah, so it's really whatever preference you want. So the Zam is a wax. And so it probably works well with felt, I'm not sure. And I've just, from what I've seen, and I haven't read about it or really looked too deep into it, but I've done well with the buffer, cloth buffer, like the 6-inch one from Harbor Freight, and I put it on a 2-wheel. And the other thing is you don't want to go too high speed because it will get too hot. So the reason I have the cerium to begin with was I have quite a bit of opal, and the cerium is absolutely the best to do with opal. And you don't really get anything stuck in an opal, because if you cut it correctly, it shouldn't have any inclusions or cracks unless it's already pre-crazed. Okay, we're getting a little bit better on this. I still don't know how far over we're going to get. So it's taken a little while on this stone, but we've had a few questions this time around, which is really cool. The tin oxide, I gotta get, there's a list. If I ever get the list, I'll get you the list, and maybe I can share that out. Alright. A little impatient. Even that gets hot. Even pushing on this wheel too hard gets hot. It's getting there. Get really thin. You can see right down here. And I'm starting to get that really nice gluey water webbing in there too. So let's see if I can bring this down. It's really thin down here. But this is sort of what you have to do with an opal. So this really thin seam is usually a really thin bar of opal. And you can see I'm starting to lose it down here. And I'm starting to gain color on the top as well. So welcome in, everybody. Okay, so it's coming over halfway. Look at the color in there. The offset of the white is pretty neat. This is getting so thin. Starting to work my fingers. I'm doing what I wasn't meant to be doing today, which is taking off my fingernails. So these wheels are not sharp, or they won't hurt you. But if you leave a finger on there too long, it will take some of your nail off, or the corner of your nail. Or I have gloves out. I just didn't put them on. So I'm using the edge of the wheel because it's a little less worn. So now that I've got that matrix all the way over to here, I think I'm going to try and get it to about here, and that should suffice as far as my sort of matrix and turquoise percentages. Maybe I might be being greedy right now. I think that is it right there. So I've still got 3 wheels to go, and so some more of this is going to come off. Look how thin I got it over here, super thin. Yeah. So if this was not stabilized, I would not be able to do what I'm doing right now. It would snap right off. So then the next decision is to keep this hole and keep the same height. Do I then go ahead and back it, or do I keep that to show on the back side of a pendant? And I'll have to decide that at a different point. Alright, so it's super thin. Very happy with it. Actually very happy with this piece altogether. I was really just expecting to get some ribbon, and instead I got 2 stones that face really well. And that's thin. So that is number 2, which I will give that probably number 2. So I can do that. Oopsie. And then, here's the other one. No. Alright. it in here. I lost the other one. No, I didn't. There it is. I already put it in the finished bag and it's not finished. So number 2, really, really thin, but it held up. And number 1, which is super nice. So those 2 pieces came out of that. I'm very happy with that. Not quite ecstatic, but really nice pieces. So yeah, that's really good. And we'll finish these up Sunday. We'll finish these up. I'll shoot. Did we finish with a semi-ugly one? Here's another one. Big. I gotta take all that out and bring it up. I guess we could do it. Why not? Why not? I'm here anyway, right? You guys are here. Just to see how quick it's going to be. So it's got a little blue in there. And this little sheet right here looks pretty good. So, hi Gemini, welcome in. Doug, welcome in. We got the big wigs in today. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So this one isn't the hottest piece. I was very happy with the last couple of pieces, but we're gonna rough this out real quick. And I'm gonna do the other pieces I wasn't so worried about, but I'm putting a mask on double this time, so there goes my mask on. Gonna bring this in. I need more water in there, actually. No, thank you, Gemini. I really appreciate you being here. We had Steve pop in earlier. I don't know if we finished eating yet. Can't see, well, I can see the chat a little bit. I put a double mask on. So this one, they took a really ugly piece of turquoise and stabilized it really heavy. So, just to keep me around a little bit longer, I just put an extra mask on. I'm just going around the edge. And let's see. Bring that in. There we go. We're going to do this one on speed. I don't know if it messes up the camera. High speed on this one. So I'm not too worried about this one and how it comes out. I just need to process it. Did I get something decent out of it? Probably not a super seller, but I mean, yeah, if you're watching, but look, that is not pretty right there. And we're going to work on this part in a second. I'm hoping there's a little bit of a ribbon right here, right through here. Okay. Not expecting too much out of this one. So like the last one, you never know until you do it. So getting a lot smaller. Kind of see the edge there. And I'm going to roll this over right now. It's got to come out. Alright, so it's sort of got a shape. Sort of. And it's not the best. So there might be something in this little piece of seam. And I'm going to bring it all the way down. Wow. Still a little ugly at first. This one is really trying to make something out of nothing. No, still got to come in. The matrix just doesn't have enough color in it. And there's a lot of stabilization on it. So I'm just going to bring it in. I could almost have cut it off actually. Okay. Now we might have something we can work with. It's pretty thin. Really thin. Maybe if I can bring that and get those two to touch, I'll have something to work. See if I can bring it in. If I can get those two little seam pieces to touch, then we might have something. And not really. We got further away on that one than closer. It's sort of there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's ugly. Ugly. Let's see what happens when we pull this off. Gonna go to the next wheel. Oh, we'll do it here. Why not? I'll just do it softly. Super thin up there. No, it's not too bad. Not crazy bad. I think I've got to take all that off. Wow. Let's do it. I'll take it all off. I should have cut it out. Yeah, I mean, I didn't spend too much on this. This is sort of the bottom of the barrel that came with it, and you're always going to get some higher and lower grade if you're buying it by the pound. They don't, especially if you're not picking it out yourself. Doug, I know you got some pretty good connections, and looking for some new turquoise rough. But yeah, I try to go through all the pieces. And I might get this to the point where if I don't like it, then I can give it away. Bringing the back in a little bit more. We got rid of a lot of weight right here, and so a little bit more. I'm wrecking this. Killing that edge right there. Alright, brought it almost all the way in. I should have just gone outside and cut it. Alright. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to try and take the lid off this one and see what we got underneath, and I'm now going to move over. Welcome in, everybody. Sorry, I was cranking on that one. There's the back. Not as bad as it was. Bring that up a little bit. And now we're going to see if I can take just a little bit more off here. See if we can end up with something. I'm going a little bit softer. Just around that top edge. Normally I'd do a full 45 on this top edge, but there's not enough up there. We'll just turn it off just slightly. Now, and really soft. It's hard to show what I normally do on a stone with this one. My height's wrong all the way around. The girdle's not quite there. You can see the more I come down on that edge, just right exit kind of. Let me get this just a little bit in the middle. Wow, that's thin. Well, it's not as bad as it was. Let's go into the software. There we go. Bring it in some more again. I don't know if you remember how big this stone was. It was pretty big. And we're down to this. I guess my point is on this one is, should I have given up on it at the beginning and just not done it? Or should I have tried to find something out of it? And I think a little bit more here, I may have found something out of it. Maybe not everybody's favorite. But it's pieces like this that you learn from. So yeah, that's much better than it was. And I would pretty much say keepable. Yeah, it's just really thin over here. I might have to bring that in just a tiny bit more. But it's actually pretty good. Not the best. If I want the best, I'd probably have to take it down to that. See how thick that is over there. And I might see how it angles down. But we'll do that Sunday. So thank you all for joining me tonight. really much appreciated. I will probably be going live around, I don't know, lunchtime on Sunday, Eastern time, so somewhere around 1:30 to 2 o'clock. You know, if you're with your family and you need to get away from them, just tell them you gotta go watch the RocksAlot. No, stay with your family. Or actually get your whole family to come watch. So, let's have a look. That one, that one. These ones. Yeah. We didn't do too bad. We did a few pieces of fire agate. Thank you, Gemini. I appreciate that. We got fire agate in there, which came out pretty nice. Let's turn that off. There we go. And these still have 3 wheels to go. Look at that in there. That's pretty cool. And yeah, we got 3 wheels to go on these. Back it up just a tiny bit. There we go. And there's a good. Where's the other one? Finish that one. There we go. There's the other piece. So that's actually the back, which came out nicer than we thought. Up in there. I'm trying to get my, there we go. So that had a little bit in there, but that was the back. And that was the front. Which is pretty neat. Let's see if this works better. Not so much. Oh, kind of. So yeah. Nice depth to this one. This was the other one. It had that hologram up the top. Where are you? Oh, it's this way. Right there. That is neat stuff right there. So it's going in and out. And this was the little extra piece. Deep down there, there's something. We might have to do some more on the wheels with that one. But yeah, so that's what we got done today. Doesn't seem like much, but we chatted a lot. And we learned a lot from each other, so that was cool. And appreciate you coming in. We're at 7-Eleven. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Be careful with the candy that you eat. And we will see you Sunday, I hope. So thank you for joining. Hit that like on the way out if you would. And who knows? Maybe I'll show my face real quick. Where are we? Where's my light? Where's my light? Guess because you haven't seen it yet. We will see you in the next live. Cheers. So, I don't know who that was. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Have a great weekend. Spend some time with your family. I get to spend some time with some old friends over the weekend, which will be great. And in the meantime, hi Dana. Take care of each other. Most of all, take care of yourselves. It's really important. All right. Love you all. Thank you so much. Cheers now.